meet up with them. I say hi to a couple people, and then that was it. That was it. Okay. Ooh. Am I the only one that's forgetting that it's literally June? Like, we are 6 months into the year. The year 2020 is already halfway over, bruh. That's really crazy. It was just March. And I've been living in this house for like, how many months is it between March and June? I've been living in here for months. Haven't gone outside unless it's to the store. Like, that's really crazy. 2012 could never. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Hey guys, it's your girl Pineapple Curls. If you're new, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back to my channel. So, I say so a lot. So is a great conjunction, just saying. But I have a story time for you guys. This is my first story time ever. And let me just say, I'm not a storyteller at all. I'm really not. But I don't even know where I was going with that. Lame. I'm not a storyteller, but I think this story is just something that's worth being on my YouTube channel because it just makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense at all, and I'm still mad that it happened. This is a story of how I lost my class ring. Y'all probably have an assumption in your head like, oh, she probably just left it somewhere, and then when she got back couldn't find. Like, no, whole different ballpark with the story. Like, y'all gotta put your seatbelts on. Let me stop being cringy. But before I get into this story, I'm gonna just sit back and let you do what you need to do. Subscribe, like, comment, turn on your post notifications, you know, if you really want to. I'll wait. Let's get into it. I'm gonna start y'all off with when I first lost my ring and I was able to recover it. I've lost it multiple times. By multiple, I mean twice. The first time I was able to get it back, and the second time I still can't. I have no idea where it is, just disappeared. The first time, it was like fall time, maybe even winter time, and we were in a meeting after school about, I think, the FAFSA. If you don't know what FAFSA is, don't worry about it. It's just financial aid stuff for college. They offer you loans and stuff, which doesn't really pertain to me because my family's already not even gonna do loans. We were in the meeting for FAFSA and a bunch of other college preparation stuff that we had to do and just like information about it. And I was in there just, you know, taking notes, being mindful of what they're talking about, you know. I was being that regular student that was trying to prepare themselves for college, you feel me? My hair was out, like in an afro, I think it was in a twist out or something. Either way, it was out, right? And it was hot. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put my hair up. I tend to do this a lot where I get tired of feeling my hair on my neck, so I put it up in a little pineapple, hence my name, Pineapple. I had a ponytail holder on my wrist, and I took it, and I just started putting my hair up in a ponytail, right? And then I realized that my ring was getting caught up in my hair when I was putting it up in a ponytail, right? So this also happens a lot, right? My ring tends to get in the way, like the jewel on it and like just the metal in general, it would get caught up in my hair whenever I try to like touch it and stuff. Whenever I was like styling my hair, I just take the ring off and set it down right next to me, like in my eyesight. So I was putting my hair up and I was getting annoyed. I was like, okay, this ring's getting in the way. So I was like, let me just take it off and then I'll set it down on my lap or something, right? No big deal, it's still in my eyesight. So I put my hair up, right? Fluff it out a little bit. And then I'm back to taking notes like nothing ever happened. We back in the game. We back to being a potential prepared college student, whatever that means. The meeting was over. Got up and met with my parents because they came up because I have a car. I have my own car. So my parents came up to the school in their cars. I think my mom rode separately from my dad, which they're not divorced or anything, but they got 2 different jobs, so they got 2 different cars, you feel me? I meet up with them, I say hi to a couple people, and then that was it. That was it. Okay. Ooh, I get home. I don't even know when I realized this, but I get home and I just start freaking out. I'm just like, yo, I did not leave my ring at the school. I had to like leave it in the car or something. Like I looked over, like I looked all around the house and I was like, I had to have left it at school. And then I retraced my steps and then I realized when I set it down on my lap, on top of all my papers and stuff that I was looking at to follow along with the meeting, that's where I left it. So when the meeting ended, I stood up and picked my papers up off of my lap. I stood up, you know, and the ring fell off, rolled over off my lap. Y'all know how panicked I was. Like, the custodians come by and sweep that theater. That's where we were in the theater. The custodians come by and sweep the theater every so often. So I was like, I have no idea if that ring is still there. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna have to go to the school the next morning and look for it, because I remember where I was sitting. I was in like the center, because that's where they encouraged us to be, in like the center aisle, or the center seats. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. I had a remote idea of where I was sitting already. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna have to go in the morning, and then I'm just gonna have to look around those rows where I think I was sitting and just see if the ring is there. So it's the next morning, I get there early, and I just dash toward the theater. Beeline. Usually when I get there early, I just like hang around the lunch table and talk to some people. But no, I went straight to the theater. Forget y'all, I'm going to get my ring. I went exactly in that little range of rows where I think I was sitting. First row, I look, okay, no ring. I probably wasn't sitting here. Next row, no ring. Probably wasn't sitting on this row either. Third row, I'm like, okay, I think I was sitting here. So I go to that center of the row. I was like towards like the left end of the row, but like not all the way on the left. I was still in the middle. And so I go to that area and I see there's like no ring within eyesight. So that means somebody like kicked it to the side or something. So I turn on my flashlight on my phone because the light wasn't on in the theater. And I go and I just like look underneath the seats or like underneath and behind the seats that were like in the row in front of where I was standing, and I see it. So I'm like, y'all, I had my backpack on and I was just looking down at the ring like, thank God. Yes, I am wearing pajama pants, and what about it? What about it? What about it?
Okay.
I get instantly relieved that I found my ring. I picked it up, I did a little rub thing with my shirt, and then I put it back on, and that was that. I was like, yes, God is good, because somebody really could have just picked that ring up and that would have been it. Or like turn it into lost and found and I wouldn't have known. Or the custodian could have like been sweeping the theater and picked up the ring. It was like, okay, I don't know whose this is, so I'm gonna just turn it into somebody. And it just could have been like out of my hands. So I was just like, thank goodness. Because there could have been so many other outcomes to that situation, but I was still able to find my ring. That's time number 1 where I have lost my ring. But thank goodness I was able to recover it that time. So on to the juicy part. This is where I lost my ring. And I wasn't able to find it. I still can't find it to this day. I wake up and I'm getting ready for school, right? I put on my ring, just like I do every morning. It's nothing different than your typical school day student trying to get ready for school, right? Wake up at 6:30. Yeah, 6:30 in the morning. Either I get dressed and go downstairs to eat, or I go downstairs to eat and I get dressed. Either way, I did that. And then it was time for me to brush my teeth, wash my face, do my little makeup, the makeup that I barely have on, touch up my hair a little bit, and be on my way, right? So every morning, either I don't put on my ring until like right before I leave, or if I do put on my ring, when it's time to brush my teeth, I just take it off and set it on the counter. Nothing wrong with that, right? Because, okay, the problem with rings is when you get water on your finger, it just starts like turning itself around and going all on your finger. And it's like, dude, stop moving. And I don't like when it moves, so I just take it off. Brushing my teeth, and I'm realizing that the ring is starting to become a little bit of a burden. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just take it off, set it down. No big deal. Either I was still brushing my teeth or I was just swishing some Listerine, some mouthwash. And I decided to pick up my phone. Do this. The phone is on the counter, right? The phone is on the counter. Just pick it up and do this because I got a notification and I wanted to see what it was. Okay, I'm looking, and then all I hear is, you know when you drop a penny on the ground? That's exactly what that sounded like. That's exactly what that sounded like. And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My ring was on top of my phone. My ring was on top of my phone. That was the ring that made that sound. Now I gotta go search the floor and see where it is, which I was pretty sure it fell on the floor. That's what it sounded like. I spit out my mouthwash, and then I washed my face, and I just finished getting ready. So I do that, and then I try to start looking for my ring. I'm in a rush because I usually don't have time to be doing this type of stuff. Like right after I finish getting ready, I'm out the door. That's it. But now I gotta look for this ring. Even though I could have waited till like after school, but I really didn't want to, because that was just like, when stuff like this happens, that's just something I worry all day about. Like, what if it's here? What if it's there? And I didn't want that to happen. I was just trying to find it and then dip. So I'm looking on the ground. Y'all, there was like not much places this ring could have gone. Everything was closed. And by everything's closed, I mean the toilet seat was down. Shower curtain was over the shower, so it couldn't have went in the shower. It wouldn't have even flown that far because I picked it up like this and turned it over so I could see it because it was face down when I picked it up. So picked it up like this and turned it over. Just judging by like the trajectory stuff and nerdy science, whatever, physics stuff, it probably went like that, you know, like that. So I look behind, that's like the first place I look is behind me to the left. And I see nothing. And I'm just like, I'm like almost 100% that it fell on the floor. Because where else would it have gone? The way it sounded like it hit the wall first, right? And then it hit the floor, and then it hit the floor again. That's what it sounded like. So I'm like, okay, well, it's definitely not stuck to the wall. And I look on the ground, and I don't see anything. I just see the ground. And I'm just like, what in the heck? Where are you at, Mr. Ring, sir? Or ma'am, whatever you are. I check behind the toilet. It's not there. I check in the trash can, even though it was closed, right? I check in the trash can still. It's not there. Y'all. I check behind the door. It's also not there. I check underneath the counter. It's not there. I even checked behind the little crack that's like in between the wall and the counter. That's not supposed to be there. It wasn't there. Why would it be there in the first place? Y'all, it was nowhere. I even checked outside the bathroom. Was not there. The door was closed. Y'all, let's be mindful here. The door was closed. The door to the bathroom was closed. The cabinets underneath the counter were closed. The trash can was closed. The toilet seat was closed. The shower curtain closed. So where could it have possibly gone? Somebody please answer that for me. Where could it have possibly gone? If it fell, If I pick my phone up like this and it goes that way, how is it so hard to find? So anyway, I realized that I'm not going to have much luck finding it, and maybe it'll turn up when I come back home, right? So I'm worrying about this all day. I'm just like, how is this possible? So, fast forwarding to when I get home. My dad is home. My brother is also home, I think. And he's like, well, you just gotta look through all the possibilities, even though it may not seem possible. And so I looked through everything. I looked through the trash bag. I took every single thing out of the trash bag to find that ring, and it was not in there. My dad, he took the what's it called? The sink.
Down.
Plug, what is it called? The faucet? No, not the faucet. The thing that covers where the water in the sink goes that you can pull out. I took that out and checked to see if the ring had fallen in the sink. Was not there. It wouldn't have been able to go into there anyway because the ring was too big for that. So I'm like, okay, it's not there. My dad takes the thing below the sink apart. I still don't know what it's called, man. I'm so sorry. There was no ring in there, so it didn't go down the sink. Or the drain. That's what it's called, the drain. Why was that so hard? It wasn't in the sink. There was no way it could have fallen in the toilet because 1, the toilet seat was closed, and 2, I didn't flush the toilet. So there is like no way that could have happened. There's also no way it could have been in the shower because the shower curtain was closed. And the ring is too big to fit down the drain. Like, this makes no sense at all, right? I'm not crazy here. When I told y'all we looked everywhere, we looked everywhere. We looked all over the house, in my car, in my dad's car, my mom's car. Like, we looked everywhere, and it was nowhere to be found. Not even in that little bathroom. I'll insert a clip right here. My bathroom is not big at all, whatsoever. So there's just not a lot of places that ring could have fallen. It makes no sense. So at some point we're like, it'll find itself, right? It'll find itself. So it is June now. I lost that ring last year, I believe. Yeah, last year, I think, because we were still in school, most definitely. If I didn't lose it last year, then I lost it in like January, February, one of those. Let's just talk about how this makes no sense. How that ring still hasn't turned up. Like, I swear, like, it just disappeared in thin air. Literally. Unless somebody got an explanation for where my ring went, I'm saying it disappeared in thin air. Because how? To this day, I'm still upset. Because that ring was not cheap. If I were to get it replaced, I'd probably have to pay for it again. And I'm just like, so, yeah. That's how I lost my class ring. Well, really, the class ring lost me. It lost itself. Because when I tell you that disappeared into thin air, I still cannot find it. My bathroom is small, so how in the world am I not able to find it? It just, no, it doesn't make any sense. The universe does not make sense in this aspect whatsoever. So that is all I have to say about this, man. I'm still so upset about it, y'all. Y'all don't even know how I felt like at the time this happened. I was mad for a couple days, but that's really it. Moral of the story, don't lose your ring. Keep it on at all times, even when you're washing your hands, even when you're brushing your teeth. It may feel annoying, but keep it on. I really hope you guys enjoyed my story time. And if you did, I'm not going to tell you to thumbs up or subscribe or anything like that because every YouTuber says this, so why do I have to say it? You already know what the protocol is, so why don't you just follow it? You feel me? Let me know if you want more story times. just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to come with more interesting stories that I can tell you. I think this is one of my most interesting ones, because it just does not make any sense. Comment below if you agree. But if you like these story times, just let me know down below. Any questions, concerns, compliments, critiques, leave it all down there. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Last minute, I'm even editing right now, but y'all, God just has the best timing, because okay, I was not lying when I said that ring disappeared out of thin air. But my dad did this whole seafood crab boil to acknowledge my graduation, because it was supposed to be on May 26th and now it's July 20th, and he didn't want it to like pass by without acknowledging it and giving me my respects and whatnot. And he sat me down and he gave me this ring, this replacement ring, and I was like, what? And he was just like, for all your hard work and blah, 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 all that sappy stuff. And I was like, wow. Because I clearly had just got done making a story time about it. I recorded the story time before that Sunday, and I was just starting to edit it, and he gave this to me. Like, that's so crazy. I was really about to go back on the website and design the ring again, just to show y'all what it looked like, but now I can just show y'all right now. God's timing, man. Just God's timing. Perfect.